How's it going, guys, girls? Rob here, and big news on the managerial front. Um, I'm hearing that the Philadelphia Phillies managerial position is filled. It is a done deal. Um, as of just after lunch today, I heard it is in the possession of Middleton, and he's a president of the team. And the paper has been signed and they have a new manager. His name, Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi made a trip to New York, and I understand he demanded to be the highest paid manager, and New York wouldn't have anything to do with that. They paid last year. They paid Mickey Callaway $830,000, and to bump from 830,000 to over 6 million. 6 million is what Bruce Bochy retired was making last year, and what Joe Madden was making as well. And I'll get to that in a second, but he wanted to exceed that amount on a multi-year deal. The Mets would not match it. The way I understand it, the Phillies have their man and Joe Girardi, 6 years, roughly 40 million is what I'm hearing. 6 year deal, $40 million for Joe Girardi. MLB had threatened to fine the Philadelphia Phillies if they announced it today or if they announce it tomorrow. So it seems like it's going to be Thursday morning. A press conference will probably be set up sometime tomorrow for Thursday morning, anywhere up until lunchtime or whatever. I'm also hearing that they are wanting to make this a Philadelphia. They want the press conference to go live on all the news networks in Philadelphia. And MLB loves it. MLB has got to love it. Number one, if you're going to become the highest paid manager in baseball, MLB is wanting, all the publicity they can possibly get. So the way I understand it, he made either a phone call or a trip back to New York, being Joe Girardi, told them what he wanted. They would have nothing to do with this, and the Philadelphia Phillies have it in writing that Joe Girardi is their next manager. I'm understanding it. It's right around 6 years, exceeds, makes him the highest paid manager in baseball. The highest paid manager in baseball last year was making 6 million. But both of the guys that were making 6 million last year, one was a lamed up manager in San Francisco. He's gone, and the other one got fired in Chicago. So, you know, you would think that he would be making in excess of 6 million. Now, from that 6 million, it goes down to what 5.3, I think, is the third. Um, is the third highest. I'm understanding it's a 6 year deal, roughly in the amount between 36 and 45 million. I don't know exactly the terms, um, but I have understood that it is in writing. He called New York, told New York, look, I want this. They gave him a flat NO. I understand right now their number one is Carlos Beltran. Beltran seems like he is on the train to becoming the next Mets manager. Uh, I, you know, I know Buck Showalter wanted an interview with him, and I think he got an interview, but I don't think he's going to be the next manager of the Mets. I think it's going to be Carlos Beltran. I really do. Buck Showalter probably is going to have to be looking around somewhere, maybe Pittsburgh. I don't know. Pittsburgh, they had, and let's talk about this for a second. the top 5 managers in pay last year, bless you. One was a lame duck manager, being the highest paid manager in baseball. Bruce Bochy, he has retired. Um, Joe Madden also was making $6 million. He got fired in Chicago. The manager of the Royals, he retired. He was one of the top 5 paid. And believe it or not, Pittsburgh Pirates were paying Clint Hurdle $3 million, which put him in the top 5 of getting paid. So, you know, he stated it to the Mets, called them, or either made a trip to the Mets and told them what he needed. He being Joe Girardi, they would not meet his requirements. Philadelphia got it in writing. I understand right around lunchtime today is the way I'm understanding it. 6 years is what I'm hearing, between 36 and 45 million. Joe Girardi is the manager of the Phillies. And I've heard it on like 3 different reports so far that he is a manager. Terms, I have not heard fully, but I heard that he wanted to become the highest paid manager in baseball, and that MLB had threatened the Phillies with a fine if it was released today or tomorrow. So it looks like it's going to be a Thursday. Oh, boy. I don't know. I just got chills all over me there for a second. Maybe it's because they got him a new manager. I don't know. I heard that they threatened the Phillies if they released this before Thursday. Thursday is we'll see what happens, and they're going to try to put it on all of the Philadelphia news channels, all of the major networks, and have that news conference as their new manager. We'll see if it happens. But by reports that I've received, Madden was signed. Madden signed over the weekend, I think. But the Phillies, the way I understood it, the MLB had told them, zip it. And we'll see if the years coincide with what I've heard. But I'm hearing 6 years, somewhere in the means of right around 36 to 45 million. So that's going to put him over 6 million a year. Middleton wanted this done, and it's obvious that Matt Klentak did not want him. Matt Klentak wanted Buck Showalter, and Showalter is not very happy about this situation. I heard that he'd made 2 or 3 trips to Philadelphia, and the last trip he made, he was pretty much, I'm ready to sign something, and Middleton said, no, pull the paper back, no, you're not signing anything yet. You may talk to everybody you want to up here. Middleton is the one running the show. He's the clown running the circus. And the way I understand it, what he says goes. Andy McPhail, he wanted him. He wanted Showalter. Ain't happening. Klentak wanted Showalter. Ain't happening. So, is Klentak now? Is he a lame duck GM? I think his days are numbered in Philadelphia. I think he could be. Now, this strictly from me, I've not heard anything. Since when was Joe Girardi? Did he have a GM that was, the age of Matt Klentak, telling him you're going to have him as a pitcher and him as a pitcher and him as a? I got a feeling, and this is just me, that Matt Klentak could be out the door as early as next week. I think they could be sending him packing, and be getting a GM and a manager all in one right here. I have not heard that. I have not heard that at all. But to be paying to be paying Girardi what you're going to be paying him, It makes all the sense in the world to unload Clintack now. Clintack only has 2 years, a year or two left on his deal. Get rid of him. Bye. He's not doing anything for you anyway. He didn't fire the last manager, and now he didn't hire this manager. So let's see what happens. But from all indications, from all indications, I am understanding Joe Girardi contacted New York, whether he made a flight to New York or contacted them, told him his demands. New York gave him a flat no, 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 no. I understand he was not even number one on their list. I'm understanding they are still wanting Carlos Beltran. We'll see if that happens or not. Buck Showalter now, if he wants a New York job, he could go for it. But from all indications, I'm understanding Joe Girardi is the new manager of the Phillies. 6 years is what I'm understanding. 36 to 45 million. I don't know the numbers. I understand he's the highest paid manager in baseball. And upon coming to Philadelphia and signing, Clintack was not in the room. Matt Clintack, the general manager, was not in the room when he signed with them. Make of it what you want to make. I don't know what that means. Clintack, I know, was a Showalter guy. He wanted Showalter. Andy McPhail wanted Showalter, and they went and John Middleton went over both of them's head again. He went over both of them's head the last time, firing the manager, Gabe Kapler. He did not want him fired, and he did it. Middleton fired him. This is the fans' choice. There is no doubt about that. The Philadelphia fans, when put on, was it the Inquirer or whatever last week, it was like 83% wanted to see Joe Girardi as the new manager. I understand he is the new manager. It's and MLB has taped their mouths shut until Thursday. Said there will be no announcements made on the 2 World Series days. I understand that MLB is threatening them with lawsuit and or fines. And I'm sure you're not talking $500,000 or $1 million. You're probably talking 5-10 million. So the way I understand, it is a quiet deal in Philadelphia right now. But I'd heard on through a couple of sources that he was there and signed the paperwork. I don't even think he got signed today. I think it's already been a done deal. Joe Girardi to Philadelphia in excess of $36 million, making him the highest paid manager known right now. We don't know what Joe Madden signed for in LA. We don't know that. So he may not be the highest paid after we find out what LA paid him. But we know Girardi Madden was making $6 million a year in Chicago. This comes as no surprise to me. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sort of surprised that he contacted New York at all. But the way I understand it, he contacted New York, found out or let them know. Now he may have just told them, "Look, I'm signing with Philadelphia before whatever happened here." There's a couple of reasons. 3 years, 12 to 50. Okay. So he's not even making $5 million a year right there. There's a couple of reasons why he would do this. Number one, Girardi may have heard from the Philadelphia brass, look, we can't release it, but if the Mets could, it's not on us. Contact them. Tell them you're going to sign with us. Be nice about it. Okay, thank you very much, but I'm going to sign with the Philadelphia Phillies. Thank you, and have a good day. Click. If you're the GM of the Mets, what do you do? Do you keep your mouth shut or do you go out and publicize it? Number one, you're not helping your own team if you go out and tell, well, the Phillies have just signed a guy for whatever. But it protects the Phillies. Yeah, yeah. Joe Madden wanted to come back to LA. No doubt about that. No doubt about it. But let's see if this gets leaked sometime during game 1 or game 2 of the World Series. I would not be surprised if it does. But the way I understand it, I think the ink is dry. The ink is dry, and I understand Girardi has signed with the Phillies. Now, I did not see any video of him going into the facility today, and I saw him. I saw a video of him going to the facility yesterday. Yesterday, yeah, he was in there yesterday. I know, but I have no inkling of him being there today. I knew that they were going to try to contact Dusty Baker later this week, possibly for a second interview. Let's see if that happens. If it happens, then everything I just told you was smoke, a smoke screen, and somebody's told me some stuff. But the way I understand it, that Girardi has signed everything, dotted the I's, crossed the T's. Now, this is straight from me, nobody else. I'm wondering if Matt Klentak is out the door. Matt Klentak, this was not his guy. He wanted Gabe Kapler to stay put. Middleton went over his head and got rid of Kapler. Kapler's gone. Now, in the process of hiring a new manager, Klentak has spoken to Dusty Baker. Klentak has spoken to Girardi. Klentak has spoken to Buck Showalter. He ended up talking to Showalter twice. Well, the second time yesterday, I'm hearing when the paperwork, when the signing occurred, Klentak was not in the room. Whatever you want to make of it. I know Klentak and Showalter are like this, but I know this was one. I don't think Middleton so much as it was the fans. The fans, once they put that thing in the newspaper, was it Thursday or Friday last week? They wanted Girardi. It was 80% wanted Girardi, and it was almost as many people wanted Baker as they did Showalter. It was like 7 or 8%, and so it was written in stone that the people wanted Girardi. Let's see if it comes true. But I am hearing by all indications it's a done deal. We will see what happens there. So that pretty big news. Let's switch things for a second, and let's talk about. I don't know anybody here that's a wrestling fan, so if you're not a wrestling fan, you might want to tune out for this one. WWE is in some serious financial trouble. If you notice, was it 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, SmackDown, that's one of their shows, started on Fox. Okay. Well, this Friday, due to the World Series, they're going to FS1. Okay. They're going to FS1, and it's been told that they may even stay. He may even stay on FS1. It may come off of Fox and go to FS1 and stay. If it does, that's going to be a financial loss to Vince McMahon. I don't know exactly how much he's going to lose on that, but they had it. It was a 4-year or 5-year deal with Fox, which Fox owns FS1, FS2 even. Okay. I'm understanding that it was all ratings. It's all a ratings deal. And if they didn't get a certain amount of ratings by a certain amount of time, that they're going to bump them back on FS1. Now, this is the real capper right here. If they go to FS1 and the ratings, they're not expecting the ratings that they've got, currently, obviously with with Fox. But if FS1's ratings don't reach a certain level, they're going to pop them back to FS2 before it's all said and done. Now, the way I understand that cannot happen for at least 12 months. But can you imagine if Vince sold his SmackDown brand, or sold his shares of stock or whatever, which is going through, and they're going to get bumped from Fox to FS1 to FS2 before it's over with? It could happen, folks. It could happen. So we'll see what happens there. But FS1 this Friday night, because Fox has got the Super Bowl. I mean, the World Series. I'm sorry, the World Series. Yeah, $100 million, and they have an out clause, I understand, in that contract. Fox does. If they don't get a certain amount of ratings within a certain amount of time, they can bump out of that. So let's see what happens. This is a lot. They're going to have to actually start spending some money on some talent, or something's going to have to happen in that show, because they are getting nobody's watching it. It's sad. And I'm one of them that's not watching it. I'll admit, I'm not going to watch it. But yeah, I'm not going to help them out at all. I'll admit that. But we'll see what happens. And I wouldn't own a penny of XFL stock or WWE stock right now for the world. I would not even want it. I would not even want it. So let's see what happens. The way I understand it, Thursday is the earliest we are going to hear anything from the Phillies. Now, if we hear something from another organization and it leaks, it's like, well, the Phillies have signed, the Phillies have Joe Girardi signed or whatever. It's going to go through every news organization, CNN and MSNBC and Fox News Channel, and all of them will go through it. Then eventually ESPN will pick up on it. And then once ESPN picks up on it, it's fire then. It's fire. Went to 2 XFL games, huh? Yeah. No, thank you. I'd rather go to a college game. So, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I'm understanding that Gabe Kapler. Oh, yeah, I understand that Gabe Kapler is talking to a couple of West teams. I don't know whether that's the Giants. I don't know who. I guess they're the only team out west right now with an opening, right? I guess. So they might be talking to the Giants. We'll see. But we'll see what happens here. This could be big time news, but expect to hear something, especially if you got your cell phones and you get the news every hour or whatever. Probably by lunchtime, East Coast time. Is it Padres? Did they fire their manager? They may have. I don't know. I know the Pirates have an opening. Giants have an opening. Phillies, Mets. Who else? Cubs. I don't know. I don't know. But could be. Let's see. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah. If you haven't checked out my trout fishing video, that was sad. That was really sad. But the thumbs up came from people saying that the GoPro worked well. I'm going fishing this weekend and actually going to be going for a week. We're going away for a week, hoping the weather clears up a little bit, and where I can do fishing and stuff like that. And I'm going to try a bait that I've never seen anybody use online or anywhere else. Gummy worms. I'm going to try gummy worms, folks. I am actually going to try that for trout. Now, obviously, I'm going to try my number 10 hooks and, you know, 12, number 10 or 12 hooks, whatever I got. Um, dealt with the fishing police a time or two. Well, I tell you, no, I tell you what I've dealt with. I've dealt with a lot of animals that's crazy and stuff like that. Now I keep everything legal. I've done everything legal I possibly can. I don't clean the fish. I don't mess with them. But the head on the swivel deal is. I heard a dog, and he did not sound happy. And then later on, I saw actually going back to my car. I saw a coyote, but he was like in a field that was actually fenced. So I don't know how he got up under there or whatever, but he wasn't that big. But yeah, and then last night, me and my wife saw a possum on the side of the road and a fox. The fox was little bitty though. I mean, he was just about like a cat almost. But we saw him, and I just you know earlier in the year, if you see my video from April, I guess that was when I saw actually a mountain lion, the full tail and all, the big boy, the mountain lion, and it was my fault. It was my fault. It was fully my fault why the mountain lion was there. But I walked up on him, and I was probably 75 yards from him, and he went the other way. Thank you, Lord, he did. But they scare me a whole lot worse than a bear does. A bear's bad enough, but a mountain lion scares the crap out of me. Um, they say more often than not, a bear, you know, as long as you don't scare him, or you don't get between, you know, a cub and its mama. Most of the time, they're going to go off and they're not going to bother you. They're going to go about their business. But a mountain lion, man, a cat, you don't never know what about those things, man. They are really temperamental. They are really, really wild. And you, if you go back and watch my videos, I'm actually sitting in the cabin when I have a discussion, and at the time I took pictures, and I think maybe I showed pictures off of my camera of paw prints and stuff like that, which was nuts. I mean, it was crazy. But saw the cat. It was about 6:30 in the morning when I was up there the last time. I'm going to the very same place this time, going trout fishing. I just have yet to find out if they've stocked it at all this year. If they've stocked it this week or anytime next week, I'm fine. More often than not, it takes about anywhere from 36 to 48 hours after they stock it for the fish to get used to their surroundings. Then you can start catching them. My my trip in the spring, I don't forget exactly how many I caught, but I have caught as many as 30, 32, 34, on a trip up there for a week. So I'm looking to do better than that. I'm looking to do better than that. And I've still got virtually all my pictures from the spring of all my fish that I did catch. Um, let's see. Let's see. I'll show you some fish. Here we go. All right, there's one. All right, this one right here, that's the one that ended up bothering me right there. You can see that little bit of blood right there. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. That's a nice size one there. There's probably 15, 16 inches there. Not bad anyway. There's another one. That one quite as big. But I caught a lot. I just ended up taking a picture of some of them I caught. But yeah. Is that all of them? No. Got another one. Yeah. I didn't take a picture of all of them I had, especially when there was a lot of people around. I just didn't take a lot of photos. But in the morning time, I just went on and did it. So we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna try gummy worms. sometime or another while I'm up on the mountain. We're gonna see if a trout will bite gummy worms. I was watching a video a little while ago from somebody that tried um, Play-Doh, pink Play-Doh, and it worked. It worked. He caught a trout. It was a small one, but he caught a trout on pink Play-Doh. So I'm gonna try gummy worm, and probably he probably should stay. They're tough as nails anyway. They're almost tough as a lure anyway. I wouldn't eat one of the things to save my life, but my family, I eat them, and I'll pull one out of the package, whatever color. I'll close my eyes. I don't care if it's a black worm, red worm, pink, clear, whatever. I'm going to try it, and we'll see if it does anything. I think there's a chance it will, but we'll see what happens there. My GoPro seems to be working fine. I'm pretty happy about it. I've got all my pieces and parts to it. Got all my lures and stuff up here ready to go this weekend. Uh, that's probably the tackle box I'll be taking, something about that size here. And I've just sound like it. You've dealt with the fishing police. No, I really haven't. Yeah, see, my fishing license is here. So I'm all good there. I don't have to worry about that. Smells like fish in there. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I got this. I got to fill it up with some more stuff, some lures and stuff. Um, I'll probably have a video maybe between now and Friday. We're taking off Saturday morning, and they're calling for a chance of some rain. So it might be a perfect day to fish if they've stocked anything. Um, and I'm going to show you some of the lures I'm taking as well. So um, I've got a pretty good selection, but not a lot. I use a lot of uh, eggs, uh, so we'll see what happens there. A lot of not trout eggs, but uh, what are they? What are they? Salmon eggs. Salmon eggs. I got different colors: gold, pink, red, all sorts, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Um, so I'll probably have a video somewhere up Friday before I take off. Um, then you don't know. I can't promise you when to expect any videos because I'm gonna have to download them. It'll be some of them that I don't have live, just like the one over the weekend. If you saw that fishing journey, I'm telling you right now, my wife had to laugh at that one. She had to. I was after trout, and they hadn't stocked it in 7 months. And if you see the fish I catch, oh my lord, that is so sad. But I got good video of it. So if you guys caught it, if you watched all 15 minutes, number one, you really didn't have anything going on. Or I hope you were cooking something and listening to the video and was like, okay, I'm not catching anything. I'm not catching anything. I'm not catching anything. And then when I do, I'm not even going to tell you when or where, catch that one thing, I'm like, oh my lord, you got to be kidding me. That was so funny. So funny. But yeah, I stayed up there for a couple hours and I was like, you know what? I'm not putting 2 hours worth of video on there of me catching nothing. I caught a couple more creek chubs like that, but it was sad. I mean, I didn't even see one trout move around in the water. Most time you at least see something moving. It was a beautiful day. It was 55, 58 degrees, a little bit of breeze, but not a lot. It was a perfect day to fish. And they just hadn't stocked anything. They hadn't put anything in there in so long. It'd been fished out. And it was the first time I've been up there in 2 years. So I didn't even go there any during the last year. But I can look it up online when they do stock it, and it has not been stocked. So we'll see. We'll go from there and we'll see what happens. Um, what else is happening? You know what? I don't know what's going on with the friends in the channel tonight. So check everything out. It's Tuesday night. So check out friends of the channel and see what everybody's got going on. I'm going to take one game with me up to the cottage up on the mountain. So I got to decide which game I'm taking. Whether it's History Maker Golf, I'm not going to take uh, NP Plus because it's so many teams, so much stuff. I'll take either History Maker Golf, History Maker Baseball, or or Soccer Blast. I'll take one of those three. So if you got one in particular you want me to take, let me know below. Soccer Blast, all I have are the European teams right now, and it seems like I got somebody here at my house. See a light outside, um, but it's European teams is all I have. Um, UEFA, Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham, um, Liverpool, Arsenal, all those teams I have. Um, my History Maker Baseball, I have the 1980s season. I've only played a game or two with it. 1980s, I have that whole season. So, if you want me to take that up there, I'll do that. History Maker Golf, I've got a ton of golfers. Um, but mostly a little bit older golfers. Yeah, it's got Woods and Mickelson, but it was when they, in the turn of the century when they were really good, or a lot better than they are now. Even I personally think so, anyway. But so you guys, let me know below which game you want me to take with me. All I got to do is grab one of the boxes and roll with it. Um, I think I'm going to try to get me some new wrestlers at the probably in the upcoming weeks for Legends of Wrestling. And don't forget the middleweight set of Glory Days Boxing is going to be released tentatively Thanksgiving, Halloween Day, Halloween. It looks like it's going to get maybe pushed back to the first or second week of November, possibly. Keep going to sidelinestrategy.com and find out when the middleweights are available. I don't know the price of them. Should be probably right around the same price of the lightweight set. I don't know, but it's 100 middleweights, and I'm telling you, the game is awesome, awesome, awesome. Glory Days Boxing. It's on sidelinestrategy.com, and you can find out, the release dates of this stuff. I have not looked it up in the last 5 or 6 days myself, so you may know more about it than I do right now. I've not talked to Anthony, the creator of the game, in over a week, but he told me the loose date, or the date that he was pushing for, was October 31st, but it looked like it may get pushed a little bit. Okay. So, don't worry about it if it's not October 31st. It may be November 5th, 10th, 12th, whatever. But keep an eye out for it if that's what you're looking for, because those middleweights can be in your house pretty quick after you buy them. That's a good thing. So, I want them on my table well. Friends channel will be watching the World Series, I'm sure. Yeah. Also, put down below here who you think's going to win the World Series and how many games. Okay. Anybody that's seen me earlier this year with ID Jester's channel, I said that I thought the Houston Astros were going to win the World Series. Now, obviously, the team that they're playing is not the team I thought they would play. I thought Colorado would do better. Colorado is not doing anything right now. Or they didn't do anything, rather. I think the Astros win this series. I think they win it in 6. Tonight's a big game. Tonight is a big game. It's number one. I don't know if Scherzer's pitching, but whatever game Scherzer's pitching, if the Nats lose it, they're in trouble. They are in trouble because the Astros have better bats. They have better bats and a better bullpen. So we'll see what happens. Um, when the Astros were playing the Yankees, they were playing some serious bats, and they put them down. The Nats don't have the bats like the Yankees had. I'm sorry, folks, if I'm offending anybody, but they don't have the bats the Yankees or the Astros have. And I think I definitely think the Astros are the better team. Um, you can look at their season and what both teams did. They won 106 something like that games, 105. Nats didn't come close to that. Nats had a great second half of the season. Yes. Oh, okay. I got you, man. Yeah. So put down below who you think is going to win the World Series and how many games. Okay. I'm going to say Astros in 6. All right, guys. Till I see you again. I'm Rob. Thanks a lot for visiting my channel. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button right over there. And if you haven't, hit the thumbs up. Give me the thumbs up. I appreciate that. And I will be back around. And we're going to see what the friends of the channel's got going on. And I'll be keeping an eye on score of the game tonight. All right. So I'll see you again. I'm Rob. Thanks a lot. God bless and have a great evening.